The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. And make sure to check out our new Discord server, the perfect place to interact and sweat bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne, northeast corner of sunny England. Today is Thursday, July the 28th, and we are here to handicap a slate of games for Friday, July the 29th. And my partner in picks tonight hasn't stopped grinning. Potentially has been slightly over all day as well. But we'll pass the floor across to Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, good evening, man. How you doing?
I am doing great, Malcolm. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. My mic is acting up, but no, good to be here. Work was a little hungover, but the Met game was amazing. We got the sweep. We are the best team in New York. It was great. The one thing I didn't like was all the Yankee fans who came out and said, "Oh, because the Mets, we started to chant Yankees suck." But obviously the Yankees don't suck. It's just what people do at a baseball game. And they were like, "Oh, we don't suck. Look at our stats." But they were just trying to look for any excuse, but it was good. Walk off by Marte. I went home smiling from ear to ear. I have yet to take this shirt off.
Yeah, I noticed you've still got your blue and orange Mets shirt on. Looks really smart. So I noticed what made me laugh in the afternoon was Moonaf in the Slack channel asked you a question and you answered saying, "I don't know, I'm drunk." And Moonaf told you off. He give you a bit of a dad telling off, saying it was only 2:35 in the afternoon. So you had a few beers. How did you get home? Did you go all the way back home from there? What time was that?
Oh, the game ended around 10:15-ish, and I took the train home, and I didn't get home till at least midnight. Wake up 6 a.m., but it's worth it. It's worth it when you see the Mets sweep the Yankees and the Yankee fans walk out of there with just a sad face. So it was worth it.
Fantastic. Glad you enjoyed that. It was a good series as well. I think it's good for the game. It's good for it's good for the Mets and their division. It's good for the Yankees just to keep them a little bit more honest as well. It's we don't want them running away with it too much, and it stokes that rivalry as well. So yeah, I enjoyed the series. It was a fun series. And me and Moonaf were saying last night that it's been a difficult week of handicapping MLB this week. I think it's been a bit of a real topsy-turvy week. We had St. Louis go into Toronto last night and turn them over as well when they were missing players. Everyone was on the Toronto run line, but Noah had tipped us off that he fancied St. Louis to take at least one of those two games. And he was exactly right to do that. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. We've got games tonight. There was a couple of games this afternoon where the Miami Marlins beat the Reds. And what was the other game this afternoon? I watched the end of it as well.
The Orioles.
Oh yeah, Baltimore, man, the best team in baseball. How can we forget it? Yeah, they shut out the Tampa Bay Rays 3-0. The closer for the Orioles, Bautista, I think his name, Felix Bautista. He's an absolute giant of a man. I didn't realize quite how big he was until they started doing the handshakes and the bum slapping after the game. And he was about 18 inches taller than every other person who was on that field. He's an absolute behemoth. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy following him.
You saw the inside the park home run off his head, right?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, hit him right in the face. It was a Brandon Lau, I think. Yeah. Lost the ball in the sun and it went straight through his glove and hit him full in the mouth. That must have hurt, I reckon. I mean, that came down a long way before it hit him in the face. After that happened, I put in the again in our little Slack chat, where's Mancini going? Because it was clearly a farewell appearance for Mancini. All the crowd had banners and placards and stuff, and Mancini was waving to everyone and was getting the big send off. So, where do you think he's going, Dylan? Even though I know you're just going to say the Mets, aren't you?
Oh man, no. The reason I do say the Mets is because we have been linked to him, but I feel like the Mets have been linked to everyone. But
yeah,
I don't know. Realistically, he's a DH. You really can't put him in the field, can you?
No.
So I don't know. There's a lot of teams that need a DH. Maybe look at a team. I don't know if he would get traded in division, but maybe a team like the Rays who have been struggling. They're hurt with a lot of injuries right now. Maybe a team like Milwaukee, they could use another bat. So there are a lot of teams I think he can go to. I think he's going to be a package deal, though, him and a pitcher.
Yeah, we've got about 4 more days left of the trade deadline, so expecting things to be hotting up. Seeing quite a few rumours flying around, so it's going to be fun the next few days. Looking forward to it, actually, to see who lands where.
Did you see Benintendi? He went to the he went to the Yankees.
Yeah,
excuse me.
Yeah, that was quite a badly kept secret. He was linked sort of 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. Yeah. And then the Yankees said they were out on him, but they needed a left-handed hitter, didn't they? They've got Aaron Hicks, who hasn't been terrible actually. He's been relatively serviceable. But Joey Gallo was their other one who, I mean, this time last year he was batting 3, and he just sunk further and further down that line. It was been batting 9. Do you know, this is a great stat, that Aaron Judge has got more home runs than Joey Gallo's got hits this season.
Oh my God.
I think,
that's awful.
I think it's 33-32 or whatever Judge has got. He's got one more than Gallo's hits. So yeah, I think that'll be the end of Gallo.
That has to be embarrassing, doesn't it?
Oh mate, it's incredible. Because I didn't mind Gallo. I know he was always a empty batting average prospect if you were drafting him in fantasy, but he was always good for it. You could get 40 home runs out of him. So if you could balance his batting average with someone like Arias at Minnesota kind of thing, you could cobble together a composite player, Billy Beane style, but certainly not this season. So I wouldn't surprise me to see Gallo go actually to somewhere else.
But who wants Gallo? That's my thing.
Yeah, that is the problem. It would be a kind of salary. Maybe if they're still after Castillo from the Reds might take him on just for a bit of fun for harvest season. I think the Yankees might sweeten the deal with a load of money as well and pay some of his wages. So the Reds have got nothing to lose kind of at that in that situation. So yeah, interesting to see what pans out in the next day or two. We'll stick with the Mets because they are the first game off tomorrow on this Friday night slate. They are 6:40 Eastern. First pitch, it's the New York Mets at the Miami Marlins, where Chris Bassett will take the hill for the Mets and Sandy Alcantara goes for the Marlins. Let me get my little page in the right place for these lines. The New York Mets are favourites, -142. Miami are +121. Totally are set at a very low 6.5. Dylan, they're your Mets. You can take it away.
Yeah, obviously I'm going to take the Mets in this one. It is a little chalky. I did see when the lines opened, I saw the Marlins all the way up to a +140, and that looked very enticing. But I only made the Mets a -130 favorite. I do think they go down to Miami and sneak out a win. I think it's going to be closer because you do have Sandy Alcantara pitching for the Marlins, one of the best pitchers in the division, I think. But Bassett, he's not bad on the road, 5-2 this season, and he's faced the Marlins 3 times. In all 3 games, he's gone 6+ innings, and the Marlins are only hitting .233 off of him. So I know Sandy, he has been dominant this season against everyone, really, but the Mets have hit him pretty well. So I think we stay hot, and I think we roll the Marlins down in Florida. As for total, I made it 6, so I do think it's a lower scoring game.
Okay, well, I went for a little home puppy, Dylan, one of your favourites. I think Miami have been a little bit better offensively the last few days. They've put up 6 or 7 runs a few times. They'd scored 7 again, I think, this evening. I thought this might be a bit of a letdown spot for the Mets. Obviously, they've been on a high over the last couple of days. They'll have emotionally as well as physically put a lot of effort into winning that Subway Series. And then a travel spot down to Florida, a bit of a letdown spot, and you then run up against Miami's stud pitcher as well. Miami being okay. I just thought of the prices. I was happy to punt Miami at plus. I saw plus 125 earlier on. So even it's come down, and if you saw plus 140, that's been making its way down. So I'll take the opposite side of this first game, and I'll take the Miami Marlins. Next up is a 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Baltimore Orioles at the Cincinnati Reds. Dean Kramer is on the hill for Baltimore, and Mike Minor, left-handed pitcher, goes for the Cincinnati Reds. Now, Kramer is not confirmed. That's just my reading of the situation. And we've got no lines on this one at all. I can give you some pitching stats, but then Dylan might have some lines of his own that he's made for us. Kramer is 3-2, has a 3.06 ERA with 47 innings pitched and 38 strikeouts. Mike Minor is 1-7, 6.65 ERA, 46 innings pitched and 41 strikeouts. Kramer's just dropped off a little bit. He was going along okay, like 3 or 4 of those Baltimore pitchers were. He's 4.15 ERA in his last 5. He does have 2 scoreless efforts in those 5 games against the Angels and Seattle. 4.26 home ERA. You're going to get a short start out of him. That's the other thing to point out with Kramer. You're not going to get more than 4 innings. Mike Minor, however, just gives up runs wherever. There was nothing to recommend him. You look for an angle and there was nothing. So for me, he's just got to keep rolling with Baltimore. I don't know what the lines are, maybe till he can help us out. But Baltimore are never going to be too short, I wouldn't have thought, on the road. And they're just rolling. They're playing really good ball is what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it would be a Baltimore money line. At what price, Dylan, do you think it might be?
I don't know. I expect the Baltimore Orioles to open up as a big favorite. I mean, to be honest, I made them a minus 160 favorite. I know the road record is alarming for the Orioles, but I just think they're a better ball club, especially right now, than the Reds. Yeah. They just took 2 or 3 from the Rays, and Dean Kramer, I think he's been really solid on the road. You're right. He doesn't go long, but he's efficient. They haven't been able to win all of his games, but I think he's been really solid. He's been able to, I think he'll have another solid outing against the Reds. And depending on what the price comes out, I'm on the same side as you. I'll probably be on the Orioles up to a minus 160. If they're minus 170, I don't think I could lay that kind of juice with the Orioles.
Okay, next up is 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the St. Louis Cardinals at the Washington Nationals. Miles Mikolas goes for the Cardinals, and Anibal Sanchez is on the hill for the Nationals. St. Louis are minus 187 on the road. Washington, another home puppy, plus 155 this time, the Nationals. Total here is set at 9. Dylan, across to you, St. Louis at Washington.
Yeah, the Nationals, they did just take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, but I don't know. I just can't trust them like you can, Malcolm. I know you backed them the other night, but they're just so bad. At home, they're 15-36 straight up. I just can't trust Anibal Sanchez. He has not looked good in his first 2 starts back. So I'm going to continue to fade him and the Nationals. So I'm going to take the Cardinals on the run line for me. And I have a question. So Nelson Cruz, he's been raking. You got to think he's going to be on the move, don't you think? He serves no purpose with the Nationals.
He seems to be a bit of a standing dish on deadline day the last couple of years, Nelson Cruz, because a team needs a big bopper, a gun for hire almost, and Nelson Cruz is that man. So yeah, why not? He'll get going somewhere. You say the Nationals have no use for him and might pick up a prospect or 2 from somebody. So yeah, I like that a lot. This does seem one of those really boring favorite on the run line situations, just because I can't take Anibal Sanchez in any way, shape or form. I went to the well once too often with Washington and Patrick Corbin last night. But yeah, I think this is going to be a team ride on the run line. Captain Insano is joining in as well. He points out that Goldschmidt and Arenado will be back after their little COVID exemption, shall we put it, in Toronto. And actually, they took a game last night. Noah was correct in saying that St. Louis would take a game. off Toronto. So yeah, Cinder's been okay, and yeah, I totally agree with that. It's not very exciting, but it's a winning bet, and we'll take St. Louis on the run line minus 115. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Philadelphia Phillies at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bailey Falter, left-handed pitcher, goes for Philly, and Jose Quintana, lefty, goes for Pittsburgh. The lines in this one are Philadelphia minus 134, Pittsburgh at plus 114. Totally set at 8.5. Dylan, this one is interesting game because Philly are the better team, but Quintana's been going okay for the Pirates.
Yeah, give me the home puppy here, Malcolm. I did make the Phillies a small favorite, minus 110, but I was able to grab the Pirates at plus 115. I think we're getting great value in a better pitcher, in my opinion. Besides that one bad start on the road in Colorado, I think Quintana has been lights out in the month of July. He's won his last 3 starts at home, and he's looked really good. I'm hoping the Pirates offense can wake up and get up for this game, because I do think this is a spot where they can possibly jump on Bailey Falter. So I'm going to take the home puppy here, Malcolm.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I got over for this one. I had it written down at 8. It's actually moved to 8.5 now. I just thought both could contribute. The Pittsburgh could get some runs off Falter, and the Phillies' offense has actually been going okay. I think Quintana's another trade candidate this week, by the way. At the start of the season, probably wouldn't have, if you'd asked a whole load of GMs if they'd be in for Quintana, would have said no. But the way he's performed, you can't ignore him. And teams who want to plug in 4th or 5th starter, even for a month or two, if they have an injury or something like that, Quintana could be on the move. But yeah, I thought both could contribute here. And 8.5. I mean, I obviously preferred it at 8, but 8.5 looks okay to me. Captain Insano, yeah, agreeing in the chat room there that Quintana is a trade candidate and claiming that the Yankees might be looking at him. The Yankees and the Mets are being linked with absolutely everybody, so everyone's off to New York by the sounds of it. The New York Yankees are our next game up here. They will host the Kansas City Royals at 7:05 Eastern, where the left-handed pitcher Chris Bubich will pitch for Kansas City, and Garrett Cole is on the hill for the Yankees. Right, here's a price for you. The New York Yankees are minus 365, Dylan. The Kansas City Royals are plus 295. Totally are set at 8.5. Bubich is 2-6, has a 5.53 ERA. Has pitched 68 1/3 with 55 strikeouts. Garrett Cole is 9-3. He has a 3.09 ERA, 119 1/3 with 153 strikeouts. Bubich has been all right his last 5, not too bad. 3.03 ERA, which is serviceable. He's given up no more than 3 earned runs. Just needs to limit his walks. He tends to, he can go a bit wild sometimes and get walk far too many batters. He pitched against New York already once this season, gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits, again, which isn't a terrible outing. Garrett Cole, actually, in his last 5 games, has a higher ERA than Bubich, 3.38. He's 2.09 at home. He's faced Kansas City once this season, 6 scoreless. He pitched that day, so I got Cole beat last time, which was against Baltimore. Baltimore were priced at plus 205. Kansas City are even bigger now. This wasn't as big when I saw it earlier on. I can't do anything with a minus 365. You can't take the run line either. The only option you've got, Dylan, at this point is to back the Kansas City Royals at plus 295. Now, I don't feel great about it. It's a game of baseball and they're nearly 3-1. They can absolutely go and win this game. They went in Toronto and won a couple when really they had no chance a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, let's have a third of a unit on the Royals at plus 295.
Oh, you are brave, Malcolm. You are brave. I thought I was generous. I made the Yankees a minus 330 favorite, but 360 is I can't touch it. You're right. There's no value on the Yankees, even at the run line. So no play on the side for me, and I can't take the Royals. I think they lost one of their best hitters to the Yankees. So yeah, I'm going to attack the total. I'm going to dive under 8.5. I made my total 8.1. I think with how good Cole has been on the mound at home, I think he'll be able to limit this depleted Royals team. In his last 3 starts at home, he's been able to go 21 innings and only give up 3 runs. He's great at home. While Bubic hasn't had the best year, but like you said, his last 5 starts in July, 4 of them have gone under the number. So he's been pretty decent. So he's been able to keep the scoring down, which I think is what we need tomorrow night. So give me the under 8.5. I think this is a low scoring game.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably the only other way I think that you could attack this. If you didn't want to take a silly punt on Kansas City. 7:07 Eastern first pitch is the Detroit Tigers at the Toronto Blue Jays. Brian Garcia on debut for the Tigers has just been announced. I hadn't seen him at all. I know, Dylan, you picked up his presence in this game here, where Alek Manoah will go for the Toronto Blue Jays. No lines, because that is literally breaking news. So I haven't got an awful lot to add to this one, Dylan. But Brian Garcia, do you know much about him, and how are they going to get on against the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, don't know much about him. All I saw was on one of my sites. He will be making his debut. As for my lines, I made the Blue Jays a -300 favorite, -1.5, -150. Same thing for the Tigers, +300, +1.5 is +150. As for the total, I made it 7.5. No lines, but I just don't think there's any value in the Blue Jays. I expect them at home they're gonna open up as a huge favorite. So I like the under. I think Manoah will be able to have his way against this Tigers club. He's been better at home than he is on the road. I just don't see the Tigers scoring too many runs. So I'm either going to be on the under, depending on the opening line, or the Blue Jays -1.5, either on like a parlay or just try to get some value out of this.
Yeah, another ugly one, really. It was the Blue Jays run line or nothing. Haven't seen any lines on that, so I won't offer any further opinions on that one. The lines that we are quoting here are from our headline sponsor on the MLB Gambling Podcast, which is the Win. The Win bet $50 to claim $200 promotion. Is still running. That $50 bet will qualify you for $200 in free bets. Reduced juice on baseball as well at Win. So that is the place you want to go and get your MLB bets on. There's still a few days left of the fantasy football contest running as well, where if you bet $500 or more on sports or casino before July the 31st, you'll be entered to win that draft experience at Encore Beach Club, which includes a 2-night stay with resorts for you and your entire league. Those to choose from, head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And the place to sweat out all those bets once you've got them on is our Discord server, where all the gang are in there. Plenty of shenanigans. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord is the place to go and have a little chat with all your favorite SGPN people. A very sharp environment, that is. 7:10 Eastern. First pitch is the Cleveland Guardians at the Tampa Bay Rays, where Shane Bieber gets to start for Cleveland, and Jeffrey Springs, the lefty, goes for Tampa Bay. Cleveland are -104, Tampa Bay -115. 6.5 is the total. That's our second 6.5 of the night. Not seeing many of those since the weather got a bit warmer. What was your total on this one, Dylan? Is the 6.5 about right? Cleveland at Tampa?
I made my total 7.4, so I do think I think we've gone a little low here. This one was a tough game to handicap because I did make the Rays a -120 favorite, but I just don't want to back the Rays right now. Something is off with them. They're dealing with some injuries in their lineup, and the Guardians, they're playing some good baseball right now. If by morning, maybe we can get sort of a plus price, which I think the line is moving towards that, I think I could see myself on the Guardians because I still believe in Shane Bieber. I know he hasn't had the best month, but in June, he was dealing 3-0 on the road. And I think he could give them 6-7 innings and just give up maybe 1-2 runs. They could win this game. So it's going to be either Guardians or pass for me.
Completely agree with you. The chat room agrees as well. That I've been onto this Tampa Bay offense for about a month now. I worked out that they weren't up to much. And Jeffrey Springs, as much as he's been going okay, it's still Jeffrey Springs, and for him to be almost a pick him against Shane Bieber seems a little bit off. Everything else you said was spot on. The Guardians are playing well, more than competitive enough. Tampa Bay struggled again tonight. Never looked like scoring a run against Baltimore. So yeah, that Cleveland minus 104. I saw that earlier on. But yeah, still minus 104. Looks like a great bet to me. So yeah, I'll co-sign the Cleveland Guardians with you, Dylan. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Milwaukee Brewers at the Boston Red Sox. And Brandon Woodruff draws the start for Milwaukee. And Brian Bello goes for the Red Sox. The Brewers are minus 161. The Red Sox plus 135. Total is set at 9. Woodruff is 8-3. Has a 3.73 ERA. Pitched 72 and 1/3 with 92 strikeouts. Bello is 0-2. Has a 10.50 ERA. Has only pitched 12 innings with 9 punches. Woodruff's last 5. Stop laughing, Dylan. Woodruff's last 5. 3-0 with a 2.20 ERA. He does actually, surprisingly, have a 5.26 road ERA. I was surprised at that. Bello has pitched 4 innings 3 times. So he's had 3 starts. He's given up 4, 5, and 5. I like Bello. I'm sticking by that. But at this point now, I need to see him do something before I shovel any of my hard-earned money his way. I saw the Brewers at minus 155 here, which was one of those unit and a half plays I'll happily give out. Shifted a little bit to minus 161. Maybe we might get it back a few points in the other direction. I thought if you factored in Woodruff's road ERA, then that total of 9 might be something we could get over. I'm expecting Bello to give up 4 or 5. And the Red Sox, as much as they are struggling, definitely struggling, but it's still, they could still put some runs up. They seem to be losing kind of high scoring games, but yeah, they've still got some runs in them. So I think the Brewers will win. But if you wanted a more competitive price, then the over 9, Dylan.
Yeah, I do like the over. I set my total at 9.8. I think Captain Insano hit it on the head. Bello equals fade. You just got to fade him right now. I do like the Milwaukee team total that he said it. If it lands at 5, I like it. 5.5, 6, I don't know. But this Red Sox team is just another team where I just can't back them right now. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They're below 500 at home. While the Brewers, they're getting hot at the right time. They've won 4 of their last 5. Excuse me. And on the road, they're 29-14. But more importantly, like I said, this is just going to be a fade against Bello. I don't know what they saw in this kid, but he isn't it. They've lost all 3 games he started. He's given up a lot of
12 innings, Dylan.
And I mean, he's let up 7, 8 hits per inning. This guy's, I don't know. He's not it. So no way I could back him, even at home. They've lost all 3 games. He started by more than 2 runs. They're broken. He's broken. Give me the Brewers run line.
It's a very small sample size for you to be writing him off when an entire professional baseball club have nurtured him for years on end, Dylan. But I'm all for it. Let's get a good knee-jerk reaction. You can't beat it. Brian Bello will be great, man, honestly. We'll talk about this like this time next year and you'll apologize to me. Next up is the 7:20 Eastern first pitch between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Atlanta Braves, where the lefty Madison Bumgarner will go for the D-backs, and Kyle Wright gets the start for the Braves, who are prohibitive, minus 216 on the money line. Arizona a plus 180. Total is set at 9. Is this another boring favorite on the run line, Dylan?
No, the Braves are too high of a favorite, and I didn't want to take them on the run line, so I'll tack the total. I'll dive under 9. I made my total 8.6. 2 good pitchers on the mound with Bumgarner and Wright. Last time Wright faced the Snakes, the Braves won 6-0, and he was dominant. While Bumgarner in that game, he did lose it, but he was he pitched pretty well. He pitched 6 innings and only gave up 2 runs. It was the bullpen that gave up most of the runs. So I think we see another similar game play out in this way. So give me the under 9 here in Atlanta.
Okay, well, I did take the boring Atlanta run line. I think they'll just be comfortably a little bit better than them. You said that last game was 6-0. Something similar here. Sort of 6-1, 6-2, something like that. But the Braves can just hold them off well enough. Bumgarner won't do anything disastrous because he never really does. But I think the Braves will come out on top relatively comfortably in that one. And 8-10 Eastern first pitch is the Seattle Mariners at the Houston Astros. Probably the pitching matchup of the night is Robbie Ray, the lefty for Seattle, and Justin Verlander goes for Houston. Seattle are plus 150, Houston minus 175. Total errors at 7.5. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can take this one away, Dylan.
Yeah, another tricky one here to handicap, but I think we're getting pretty good value here with the Mariners. I'm seeing it all the way up to a plus 155, plus 160. But I'm going to attack the total again and go under 7.5. I made my total 6.5. We got two good pitchers with Robbie Ray and Justin Verlander. After getting rocked back in May, Verlander went on a tear, and he's only lost one game since then. He's beat the Mariners twice, but both games were very low scoring, 3-1 and 4-1. So I think we see another similar game where the Astros win, but it's a very low scoring game. You got to think the Astros are going to come out with a little bit of hunger and desire after getting swept by the last place team Athletics. So I think the Orioles, the Astros win, but I think 7.5 is a little too high with these two good pitchers. I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I just thought that both these teams have come off a relatively low scoring series. Houston and Oakland went under a lot, and we were onto that trend, which I quite liked. And then Seattle kind of kept touching off Texas by 1 run. This total is low, and I always lean towards the dog with a low total because there's not as much wiggle room. I thought Seattle here on the run line, minus 140. If this has got sort of Houston 4-3 or 3-2 written all over it, I didn't think there'd be much in this. So it's not often. I don't often take the underdog on the run line. I think I did it last night with Kansas City. But it's probably, you could count on one hand the amount of times I've done it this season. But I thought Seattle could keep this one close. So with the extra run and a half, minus 140 looked like a reasonable price to me. 8:40, 8:10 even, Eastern first pitch, is the Oakland Athletics and the Chicago White Sox, where James Kapralian will take the ball for Oakland. And on the mound for the White Sox will be Lance Lynn. The lines are further up the page. There they are. Oakland are plus 180. Chicago White Sox are minus 213. Total is set at 8.5. Kapralian 1-5 with a 4.74 ERA. Has pitched 74 innings with 49 strikeouts. Lance Lynn is 1-3 on the season, 6.45 ERA, 42 innings pitched and 41 strikeouts. Kapralian's been flying lately, really good. 1-0. With a 2.05 ERA over his last 5. I mean, it's the fact he's on the Oakland A's is why that isn't 3-0 or 4-0 with those performances on. I like him a lot, and he had a lovely little purple patch last season, around about sort of May, early June, that when he first came up as well. So he's repeating what he showed in flashes last year. Lance Lynn eventually had a good start last time. Against Cleveland, but before that he'd given up 6, 8, and 5 in his 3 starts. You just can't trust Lynn. In fact, everything about the Chicago White Sox, you can't trust Lance Lynn. You can't trust the lineup. You can't trust the bullpen. You can't trust the manager. I wouldn't be trusting anything at minus 213. Not for me. Give me Oakland here at plus 180. Oakland first 5 would be another way to go because they have got their noses in front and blown it a few times this season. We saw them do it against the Yankees a lot in a little series. I'm going to take Oakland full game just because I say the further you get down the game, I still don't trust the White Sox. Did they blow it last night or try to blow it? They blow it, I think.
They blew it.
Yeah, they blew it. They blew it about 3 times in the same game, actually. They used up a lot of lives and still couldn't win. So yeah, give me Oakland at plus 180. Yeah, we'll take the big dog.
And no way Lance Lynn should be a $2 favorite. I don't care if it's against it's the A's, but I do like the A's. I'll probably be on them. I'll have like a half unit. I love the first 5 plus a half, or even just first 5 money line because I do think they will get to Lance Lynn, but I love the over in this one. I know I usually bet the unders. I'm an under type kind of guy, but I like the over 8.5. I made my total 9.2. We got 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of center field. So two guys I don't really believe in, Caprillion and Lynn, where we just talked about. I don't want to back either of them, but I do think I think both pitchers will give up some runs. So I like over 8.5. You saw in that series against the Astros, A's were able to put up 5-6 runs consistently. So, and I think the White Sox, their offense, they'll be able to crack a few runs as well. So I'm gonna venture and go over 8.5.
Next up is an 8:40 Eastern first pitch, the LA Dodgers at the Colorado Rockies, and it is Julio Urias going for the Dodgers, and Chad Kuhl will go for the Rockies. 2-1 on the Dodgers, -200. Colorado +170. Total at 11.5. That's a biggie. Urias is 9-6, 272 ERA. Has pitched 102 2/3 with 99 strikeouts. Kuhl is 6-5 with a 4.48 ERA. Has pitched 94 1/3 with 69 strikeouts. There's a few games here when we've talked about this before. When you handicap sort of a 3 or 4 game series, and if I'm on the podcast 2 or 3 nights running, you kind of end up handicapping the same trends night after night. And I talked about this a lot with Moona last night. We did this game. We looked through the Dodgers in Colorado twice this season, lost 2 of 3 both times. And also, they've had this weird thing of getting turned over by the poor teams. So we've seen the Nationals took 2 off them this week. We've seen the Pirates sweep them earlier in the season. So I'd stick with Colorado, yeah. Colorado's home record is still serviceable. They've already proved twice this season that they can take a series against the Dodgers. Dodgers have had a bit of a ropey week, so yeah, I don't think Colorado will get swept here. So we'd start by taking them at +170 here, Dylan.
Wow, that's ballsy. By the way, I love how you say cool. You sound like Cartman from South Park. Cool.
That is Chad Cool.
But not a fun play here for me. I'm going to take the Dodgers on the run line here. Remember back in early June where the Rockies, they had the Dodgers number. I think they were undefeated against the Dodgers at one point. Yeah, not anymore. The Dodgers have won 4 in a row against them, and I think we could both agree the Dodgers are just a better team. They're 8-2 in their last 10, while the Rockies, they're 5-5. I do think we see a higher scoring game, the elevation, plus you have 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of center field. So I think the Dodgers can crack cool. So give me the Dodgers -1.5.
Okay, then. You're wrong, but you can have them. Next up, I'll tell you what I'm going to do before we crack on with the last 3 games is give a shout out to IP Vanish, the official VPN of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. IP Vanish will protect all your private data, keeping it away from hackers and advertisers, etc., by encrypting 100% of that data. So all your passwords, communications, browsing history, physical location, etc., will be completely hidden. You can use IP Vanish on unlimited devices without losing any speed. You can use it on your Fire Stick when you're streaming stuff. One push of a button and IP Vanish will have you protected. They're offering our listeners 70% off the yearly plan with a 30-day money-back guarantee, the equivalent of getting 9 months for free. It's really easy to use. So take back your privacy with the brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Go to ipvanish.com/SGP. Use that promo code to claim your 70% savings. ipvanish.com/SGP. 3 games to go. 9:38 Eastern is the Texas Rangers at the LA Angels, where Martin Perez will take the ball for Texas, and Patrick Sandoval draws the start for the LA Angels. 2 left-handed pitchers going there. It's a pick'em. It's -110 each of 2. Total here set at 7.5. Interesting game, this one to handicap. Dylan, what have you got for Texas at the Angels?
Yeah, you're right, Malcolm. Another tough one to handicap, but this is a stay away from me. The lines are just too sharp right now for me to have a play on the side or total. I do think once money starts coming in on the Angels and we get a plus money with the Rangers, I think I could see myself on the Rangers just because I believe in Martin Perez more than Pablo Sandoval. People think the Angels have found something, but I would pump the brakes on the Angels just yet. I know they've won 2 of 3, but that's against the Royals. The Rangers are a much better team, and I think with the pitching advantage in Martinez, he'll really be able to limit them. So no play right now, but if we get plus money tomorrow, I'll probably be on the Rangers.
We haven't actually mentioned the Mike Trout thing either last night or tonight on the podcast so far, which really it's huge news. And I think the fact that Angels are so bad, that tells you how we can miss this Mike Trout news. And I don't think it looks very good at all. Some of the words that have been used in the statements by the club and by the manager. I know Trout's come out and said, I'll be back, it's fine, I just need to manage it. But some of the other words, I think the club said, yeah, we don't think his season's finished, or like we don't think his career's finished. I mean, hasn't been glowing with positivity. So that's a huge thing for the Angels. I had the over here just because Sandoval, again, I was beginning to lose trust in him. And actually, ever since I began to lose trust in him, he's got a little bit better again. So fingers crossed that continues. I've got him in a handful of fantasy teams. And Texas have been scoring some runs. Texas are a little bit better than people give them credit for. Have you got any idea what their record might be, Dylan, in one-run games, Texas? Have a guess.
One-run games?
It's 38. 28 one-run games they've played. What have you got?
24 of the 28 they've won.
Yeah, we're 5 and 23. Yeah, they've won 5 of those 28. Yeah, and I think the other team that's way down there are the Angels. Actually, they did something like 6 and 21, where there's teams that are way over 500. So yeah, a little bit of luck, and I mean it's not all luck, obviously, but a little bit of luck in Texas would be above 500 because they're not miles away, and they'd be in the wild card race. So yeah, I think there's better days ahead for Texas. So yeah, they can score some runs. You said the Angels have found a little bit of offense. I saw this at 7 earlier on, which I had written down as too low, but I'm happy to take the 7.5 as well, and we'll take the over. At what price is that? -110. We've got a $5,000 bet on the Twins to win the World Series. Just appeared in the chat box. Which
I was just going to say, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I mean, what price would they be now? The Twins? I'm not sure about the Twins. I'll be honest with you.
Me either.
Yeah, that might be. It wouldn't be for me anyway. I'll cheer it along all the way, but it certainly wouldn't be $5,000 of my money going on. But Drunk, who was in the chat there. So yeah, good luck with that one, mate. Braver man than me. Next up, the 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the Minnesota Twins. Let's see if we can get them a win to keep that bet going. Then you can cash out tomorrow. You can hedge back out tomorrow after they've won. The Minnesota Twins will take on the San Diego Padres, and Joe Ryan goes for the Twins. The lefty Blake Snell goes for the San Diego Padres. The Twins are even money, +100. San Diego -120. Total is 7.5. Joe Ryan is 7-3. There's a 2.89 ERA with 81 innings pitched and 73 strikeouts. Snell is 2-5, has a 4.75 ERA, 55 innings pitched and 71 strikeouts. Joe Ryan's been absolutely great. Loving his work. 2.67 ERA in his last 5. He's 4-1 on the road with a 2.70 ERA. Just ticking boxes everywhere you went to try and handicap this. 3 of Blake Snell's last 5 starts have been better. He's improving. I think might have been me and you talked last week, Dylan, about pitchers who might have a better second half of the season, and Snell was tentatively on my list for that one. I like the under. I liked it. I sort of, yeah. So it's at 7.5, and I like the under better at 8. I'll get your line off you in a moment. What you thought? So I won't be taking it at 7.5. Once I'd eliminated that, I was happy to take Minnesota on the road. I just think Joe Ryan is. There's not much between the two sides, the two offenses, Minnesota and San Diego, and I do trust Ryan slightly more at the minute. That 4-1 road record with a 2.70 ERA is great. So yeah, even money for Minnesota is plenty good enough for me. But what was your total, Dylan?
Yeah, 7.5. I don't like it under. I made my total 7.7. So if you were able to get an 8 under, I do like that. This is just another game where I don't understand the line. I guess the Padres are the favorite because they're home, but you're right. Joe Ryan should be the favorite, in my opinion. I got it at a nice plus 108 price with them. So I'll take a shot here with the Twins as well. I just think right now they're the better team. There are reports that the Padres are favorite to land Juan Soto, and that hurts me a little. But regardless, I think the Twins are a better team. I know they've lost 2 in a row, but the Padres, they've lost 3 of their last 5 as well. So I just can't back Blake Snell. You did say he's improving a little, but he's just been very inconsistent for my liking since coming back. So I think the Twins could take advantage of him. So at a nice plus price, I'm going to back the Twins here on the road.
The Twins were 55-1 to win the World Series. So with that 5K on, we'll be looking forward to Dunk doing a fly past in his new private jet when that one lands in October. We can wave at him as he zooms overhead. The last game of the night here is a 10:15 first pitch between the Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants, where Marcus Stroman will draw the start for the Cubs, and Alex Cobb goes for the San Francisco Giants. The Cubs are plus 125 underdogs. The chalk is San Francisco at minus 145. Total is set at 8. Stroman 2-5, 4.38 ERA. Has pitched 61 2/3 with 59 strikeouts. Cobb is 3-4, has a 4.26 ERA, 76 innings pitched and 74 Ks. I like Stroman. I like the Cubs of late. They've been going really well. I took them. Again, this is another one of the games where I handicapped kind of this series last night. You've got Justin Steele and Alex Wood going tonight, and I kind of handicapped how I felt this series might go. The Cubs on a winning streak. I think 7 in a row, possibly. Stroman's only given up 3 earned runs in his last 3 starts, and I'm just out on the Giants, really. In 3 of Cobb's last 4 starts, he's given up 3, 3, and 4. I just think at the prices, I think the prices are too far apart. There's not 70 points between these two clubs at the moment, or these two pitchers. So in what I see is a coin toss, I'm going to take the plus 125 price. So give me the Chicago Cubs, please. And that's actually drifted. I had that written down at plus 115. So that's out to plus 125. And I will take the Cubbies, Dylan.
Yeah, so I actually got the Giants at a minus 145, and I see them right now at minus 130. So money's coming in on the Cubs, which
I'm going to go in the other way.
Yeah, because I see why, though, because the Cubs are just a much better team right now. I feel like an idiot because I did make the Giants a minus 140 favorite, but the Cubs, like you said, they've won 7 in a row, and they're doing it. They're doing it with their offense. They're scoring runs. Their pitching has held up, and the Giants, they've lost 5 in a row. Excuse me. They're 3-7 in their last 10. So just a tough spot here. I do think at home the Giants are a tad better. They're 26-22 at home, while the Cubs are 20-25 on the road. We do have 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing out in San Francisco tomorrow night. So I do think maybe we see a higher scoring game. I set my total at 8.2. So I do like the over, but with how the Giants have been able to score runs, I don't know if we could get the over. So officially no play, but I do lean the Giants at a minus 130 just to turn things around. And anytime I get a chance to fade Marcus Stroman, I'm going to fade him.
Okay, so Dylan lands on the other side of that one, and that's it. Lock and dogs to come momentarily. After I've told you about a new sponsor here, which is Dave. Dave will help you out with those unexpected little bills and things that come in. I think we've all got stories we could tell when the car blows up, or you've got a little bill that you didn't expect to pay, or a gift to buy, something like that, where you need a little bit of extra cash to tide you over. Hindsight is 2020, but you can get a little help now from your future self and just borrow a little something through Dave, the banking app that will help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash, which is just that bit of extra money you might need to help you get from A to B before the end of the month if you are in a pinch. If you download the Dave app from the App Store right now, that's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account, get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. It's a member of the FDIC, and future you will thank you for that information. I didn't write down a lock and a dog earlier on. I normally have them all prepped, but I didn't, so I'm frantically scanning my card. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, Dylan, you can hit us with yours.
All right, so let's start with my lock. My lock, I'm going to go to that Mariners-Astro game. I'm going to go under 7.5. I set my total at 6.5. I just think with these two good pitchers in Verlander and Robbie Ray, we're going to get a pitcher's duel. So if you want to eliminate the bullpens, go first 5 under. I like that as well. As for my dog, it was one of the games we talked about earlier in the show, and it's a home puppy. I'm going to take the Pirates. I think that this is a good spot for Quinton. I think he is pitching for a new team soon. I think he is moved. And against the Phillies, who just had that nice comeback win against the Braves, now traveling not too far in the same state, but I just think this is a bad spot. I think they'll be able to jump on Bailey Falter. So I'm going to take the Pirates at home as my dog.
Okay, I've managed to work mine out because I'm very, very good. The lock will be the over 7.5 in the Texas at the Angels game. I just think both sides have been feisty with the bat. I normally open the app in the morning to check the scores. I can see 4s and 5s next to these two clubs' names. Like I said, I'm a little bit higher on Texas than I was, having investigated them a little bit. And that 7.5 is just a little bit too low with two middle-of-the-road pitchers, Perez and Sandoval, but they're by no means stood. So, yeah, we can get that one over, I think, relatively comfortably. I had loads of dogs to choose from. This was the problem with my dogs. I've got Oakland at plus 190. I've got Colorado at plus 170. I've got the Cubs at plus 125. We could even take Minnesota at even money. So I've got 4 underdogs, but I'm going to take the Miami Marlins on the money line to turn over the New York Mets. Dylan, don't you shake your head at me, young man. We can get that shirt off. A bit of a letdown spot. Miami have been okay, and they are behind their stud pitcher. So if Miami are going to win a game, this is the kind of game they're going to win. They've got some ticks in some boxes, and I think plus 125 is a very fair price for that one. Have I upset you, Dylan? Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit. I think you did it on purpose as well.
Just want to bring you down a peg or two. Hey, listen, I'm on your team, remember. Noah, you were out drinking last night. Noah and Moonaf were giving me loads of stick for being a closet Mets fan, so...
It's all right. They deep down, Moonoff is sad because the Red Sox are in last place. The Tigers, they're probably going to sell their team. They're so bad. So, I mean, I have the only good team. You might as well jump on the bandwagon. We want you.
Okay, I mean, but don't tell the others, okay? It's our little secret.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dylan. That was fun, as always. I am going to go and build a couple of DraftKings lineups now for the midnight games, or the 7 p.m. games. That'll be to you. What's happening? Weekends creeping up. I've got the football tomorrow. Newcastle taking on Atalanta, the Italian Serie A team. So I'm taking the kids to that one tomorrow night, have a couple of beers and a burger, and sing some songs and see what our new players look like. So that's exciting. But yeah, some variety of the MLB Gambling Podcast team will be around over the weekend to preview Saturday's games, and we'll do some lock dog totals and stuff over the weekend. Appreciate everyone getting involved in the chat box. The Discord is the place to be if you want to get involved as well. Thank you very much, Dylan. What are you up to? Anything fun? Or recovering? Early night for you, I think, son.
Yeah, gonna be an early night tonight for sure. For this weekend, I will be at the beach, catching some rays, enjoying my weekend. Gonna go on a nice little vacation real quick. I deserve it.
Oh, you deserve it, yeah. Life O'Reilly over there, you man. Let's win some bets this weekend, then we can all have a little vacation. Thanks everyone for listening. Good luck with your bets. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.